everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and this is Out of Bounds with my two best friends, Scott Bogman and the Welsh. I brought back the Hey Yo just for the Welsh today. I don't know why. I was feeling a little, maybe it's my Mike Vrabel vest that I'm wearing. I've just got a little bit more hitch in my giddy up. I don't know what it is. It was a fun weekend of football for most teams. We've got a full slate of bye weeks ahead of us. We're going to try to get through all of it, of course, right here on our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's the place to be, live here every single Monday. Tuesday, we want you to be a part of the show. You guys program this show right now. That's how it runs. So we'll ask the questions here along with you. We're going to do Fact or Fiction later, so we want you to stick around in the show and ask your Fact or Fiction questions, and we'll get them loaded in. And look, Welsh, last night, nice W for your 49ers. George Kittle, though, give me a big fat goose egg. What the hell's wrong with him?
Yeah, they're just like, nope. They said before the game, I think it was Kittle had mentioned it, that Shanahan went to them and said, fellas, it's going to be a McCaffrey game. And then the explanation came out what a McCaffrey game is, and that is nothing but running the ball. And that is all that they did. It was nothing but Christian McCaffrey, Brian Robinson, and then, of course, that was the game where Mac Jones was like, Kendrick Bourne who? And just threw to Juwan Jennings. But, yeah, unfortunately, Debro was right. I respectfully during the week was like, I don't care what Debro says about George Kittle. I don't think it was so much about the coverage in that it was that the 49ers just decided we're going to run, we're going to do it successfully, and Christian McCaffrey continues to do his thing.
Yeah, he does. Also, the New York Giants got real close to another upset, Boggs, this week. It was fun as the questions are flowing in. Again, drop all your questions in here. We're going to do questions with asses in just a second here. But Boggs, it's tough because I still think if you're a Giants fan, you still feel pretty good about the fact that your rookie quarterback just went to Denver with one of the best defenses in the league and probably should have won that football game. Brian Daboll, I mean, what an awful bit of clock management there in that game about understanding the situation, the scenario, and when to not give the ball back, not to mention a couple missed point after attempts as well. So I don't want to just completely like, they say, oh, it's a bad job there. I want to give some credit to the Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos, too. That's an epic comeback.
You have to give credit to
them. So here's the question. Did they lose the game or did the Broncos win the game?
They lost it. They lost it. Teams that were – I saw the stat this morning, and I apologize. I should have saved it. I don't have it on me. But the teams up 18 points with 6 or less than 7 minutes or whatever were 1,027-0 before yesterday. So, yeah, the Giants choked that game away. Like, that was a complete and whole meltdown from the Giants. And, I mean, you come all the way back and then shank the extra point. I think you have to lose the kicker. Like, you he's got to go.
You absolutely have to there. All right, so we're going to talk about everything that went down in Week 7, look ahead to Week 8. We're going to take your questions just a second before we do. We got new giveaways. This one is Ashton Jeanty. Oh, baby. Let's go. Pristine Auctions giving away this bad boy. Check it out. The Jeanty jersey signed by Ashton Jeanty himself. Subscribers here on our Twitch get 1.5 times odds boost of winning this giveaway. So subscribe with your Amazon Prime account whenever AWS is back up and running. And you'll get rid of those nasty commercials while you're watching us here on Twitch just for $5. And of course, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, go to our Twitch, go sign up there, subscribe. That way you can get in on this jersey giveaway as well. It's going to be good times there. Let's start here with our good pal Dredis, talking about a lot of quarterbacks in flux. Not only do we have 6 QBs on a bye next week, but we've got QB injuries to talk about, possible QB benches to talk about. What kind of fab are we spending on Andy Dalton, fellas? Welsh, we're going to be missing Bryce Young here, it looks like, for high ankle sprain. So it's a couple weeks. You know, the high ankle is going to be a couple weeks. So Andy Dalton was going to take over. So how much fab are you spending on him in a super flex right now?
$1.50. No,
oh, that's crazy.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, there are some weapons to be had. By the way, we talk about George Kittle. What the hell happened to Jalen Coker, who's supposed to be involved in everything? Yeah, I think Dalton is in that Carson Wentz like game management vibe type of guy. Leggett really got involved. Leggett was top 5, I think, in first read percentage this week because Tet was kind of just, bogged down by really good cornerback play. And then you got the running backs. So it's actually like a decent offense that surrounded him. I would say, I mean, if you were desperate, if you didn't already have 3, I mean, do you have to unload the clip? I mean, this is a
I
starting
don't know if you have to
quarterback for
unload it,
a high
but-
ankle sprain could be more than a month. This could
Well,
be
let's
like
talk about this schedule here because we've got the next 6 weeks before the bye. They have a late bye, by the way, the Panthers, week 14. They've got Buffalo, Green Bay, New Orleans, Atlanta, San Fran, and Los Angeles Rams. So not the easiest schedule either of some of these defenses. So I do think desperate times call for desperate measures, but Boggs, we're living in a world too where we could end up seeing a change for the Vegas Raiders. We don't know if Kyler Murray comes back from the bye and is healthy again. We're not sure. So a lot of QB flux right now. So how do you approach Andy Dalton, say, versus potentially a Tyrod Taylor who could be the starter for the Jets next week against the Cincinnati Bengals?
40%.
Yeah,
by the way, that's my number. 40%.
Yeah, I'd go 40 to 50% somewhere in that neighborhood because you probably don't have that much fab anyway left at this point, right? So you probably don't have a ton. So it'll probably take half of whatever you have left to get him in a super flex because people are so desperate for quarterbacks. But I'd rather have Tyrod. I do if they make the switch, it's going to be Taylor probably for the season.
What
right?
happened there? What happened to you? Switch.
He just went.
If they make the actual switch, if they do
No.
it.
You didn't say
If they
switch,
make
you
the
said
switch, I'm
switch.
sorry,
Yeah.
I turned into this guy.
Hold on.
Okay,
Joe
listen
went,
here.
Joe went Jeanty, and you went switch. You
Hey,
both
listen,
are
if they're
twanging this up.
moving and switching this Jeanty around here, okay, you're going to want to take the quarterbacks.
Careful.
Listen, Andy Dalton
Yeah,
is
I'm
an
very
old
careful.
guy with great experience, right? Like, this season has been great for old guys with a lot of experience. Look at what Joe Flacco just did. You
Yes.
know, I think he has a good receiving core here as well. I think he has more patience than Young. Obviously, he hasn't been chased around for his entire career like Young has. So I think this is a good move for the Panthers for Andy Dalton to come in here and play a couple of these games. It's not ideal. You want to get your young guy more experience and all of that, but I think he can be okay. So I'm okay with rostering Dalton, but I would prefer Taylor if he's going to start.
And if you're desperate, though, like we don't need to talk about percentages. You got to unload because like how many more opportunities are you really going to have? Good
look,
quarterbacks?
I do think Kenny Pickett will be there next week. I think Tyrod Taylor will be there next week. So I think there's backup options. I mean, I don't want to go crazy on Andy Dalton. And look, Bryce Young's a quarterback, not a running back or wide receiver. So I think it's a little different. Even the high ankle, I think it's more like, a couple weeks here as opposed to 6 necessarily for him. However, wasn't the high ankle what Jordan Love had last year, and we saw how difficult it was for him to come back from that.
Yeah.
So that
And he
did
didn't
affect
run
him the
at
rest of the
all.
year. So my answer is you need a better long-term solution. Lee, is it time to drop Calvin Ridley or Chris Godwin? Boggs, I don't know if we're going to get much out of either of these guys. I wonder if Calvin Ridley gets dealt next week. Is the trade deadline coming up? That's the only thing I can think about. He's got to be healthy enough to get dealt. But here's the thing. It's tough to drop these guys this week with 6 teams on a bye. And I mean, if there's something better out there, sure. I just don't know what that is at this point. Kayshon Boutte, would you drop one of these guys for Kayshon Boutte?
I would drop Ridley for him. I think I'd
that's
want
fair.
to keep Godwin to see how long he's going to be out with this injury. But Calvin Ridley's done nothing. I'm with you. I do think that he would hold more value if he was to get traded because whatever it is in Tennessee just ain't working. It's not Calvin Ridley necessarily. Cam Ward looks miserable right now. And I thought Cam Ward was going to be great. So hand up, I was mistaken. He's looked awful so far this year, and the schedule has not done him any favors either. So
Either is the coaching staff.
Yeah. I mean, the whole situation in Tennessee looks rough right now. So they're going to have a new head coach next year, and things are going to get adjusted. But I think you're seeing the wind come out of their sails right now, and enthusiasm for the season is rough in Tennessee right now.
Welsh, we didn't even talk about it. Like Jaden Daniels too, going for an MRI today as another QB. Here's one from Axel. High Pros traded Chase Brown and Jaden Daniels for Jeanty prior to the injury. Well, it looks pretty good right now. Like, I mean, you're gonna. Daniels, I don't know how long he's going to be out potentially with the hamstring issue. I think it might have been a slight overpay, but I would say this right now, currently structured from the injury, it feels like a B- kind of trade to me.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, Chase Brown is kind of revived with Joe Flacco and then being able to pass the ball. I'd also say, like, it looks a little bad right now because the Raiders were like, all right, guys, game plan for this week. I know Jeanty has had the 3rd most rush attempts, and he's one of the best running backs for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Let's not get him the ball, and let's pivot. Let's pivot, and let's give everybody else a ball. We're out our playmakers. There's no Bowers or Myers, but guess what? Master game plan. Trey Tucker, Besh, no Jeanty. So I don't know why they didn't involve him. I don't even care if you're down a little bit. You've got to get Jeanty involved.
You got to get back to the run game. It's the only thing they got right now.
So all of that to be said, like Jeanty, I think is the best play here. You did get rid of Daniels, which looks a little bit better for you right now. hindsight, maybe that wasn't like the best trade, but you did upgrade to the best singular player. You just gave up like a top 4 or 5 round quarterback and a running back who had underperformed.
Shout out to Kaki who just subbed, Satonics who just subbed. We've got AJ Pax there, 2 community subs given out, and Tito cheering some bits here for a question. Cheer 30 from him. Any concerns here with Rome that the offense now we think is just game situation the last 2 weeks? I want to talk about the Bears and what we saw, because Kyle Monangai is our number 1 waiver wire pickup of the week. He's a guy that I've been stashing everywhere. And all I've been waiting for is for him to become the David Montgomery in this offense. That's all I want. And that line was very David Montgomery-esque yesterday. I thought it would happen after the bye week. It did not. I waited an extra week. Monangai, we got it here. The question is, does it continue? So let's talk about that Bears offense. Welsh, what'd you think of how Caleb played? What'd you think of the way the backfield was used here? Are we seeing Monangai now starting to get poised into that role where the passing down work goes to DeAndre Swift and Monangai's the guy at the goal line and maybe between the tackles a little bit more?
Yeah, this is another situation which I think is going to kind of stink at the end of the day. Like, it's just running backs that are going to eat into each other. It's similar. We'll talk about the Panthers situation in a little bit, but this is another one of those where like Monangai is going to have like some inherent value, but it takes away from Swift. My problem with the offense is I just don't feel like they understand or know who they are and who Caleb wants to be. Like, all right, if you're going to run, then let's do it. Let's be efficient and do great play calling. If you want to sling the ball because you've got all these, great receiving options, do that. What do you have, 26 pass attempts? Caleb, I really just don't know if there's a lot of trust across the offense. But as fun as it is to talk about Monangai, and you could be like, oh, I told you to pick him up. It's like, okay, well, they're just going to eat into each other. And it's like, what, Swift's going to have 14 touches and Monangai's going to have 11 or 12 touches. It makes them both irrelevant. So I just don't love it. I would love for, him to take over a full-on role, but it's just going to be more bye-week hell, maybe flex. Like Monangai's like a flex option if you're in some bye-week hell.
Well, he's definitely I think he's RB2 this week with 6 teams on a bye.
Sure.
I don't think that's a hot take, right? He's one of the bye.
What are our teams? Do we know? What's our bye-apocalypse?
I do know of our teams here. I will give it to you in just a sec. Bog, tell me about your take on the Bears offense, which you saw yesterday too, and whether or not Monangai is a guy that you want to really go after in waiver wire hard necessarily.
Yeah.
Look, it's double the amount of carries he had in any other game, and he had a touchdown in that game too.
And it was against New Orleans, Joe. So we can, just throw that on top as well, right? Like they were up big late in this game. But I don't care. The waiver wire has been unbelievably barren for running backs this year. If you can go get Monangai and go get Brashard Smith right now, spend on them, because who knows if there's going to be anybody available for you to pick up next week. There has been nothing for like 3 straight weeks at running back. So, yeah, go get these guys right now if they're available.
I asked this question off air of Debro and Fitzy after the show we just did earlier today, which was, do you think the waiver wire has just been bare this week because the rookie class was so great at running back and everybody was in on them and drafted them, as opposed to most years these things kind of slip through the cracks, but this year was a very hyped rookie class? Boggs, I know you're the Dynasty podcast host around here. Is it maybe just like everybody was on the rookies so much this year because everyone's doing a better job that kind of killed the waiver wire in 2025?
For sure. Yeah, I think that's a massive part of it is people grabbed in the stash, and some of these guys
even the receivers, the A.O. Manners, the Hortons, these guys are mostly rostered in the sharp leagues.
Let me throw another caveat into that, is that everybody and their mother sits and tells you about how, hey, listen, you should draft these players, but then out of their side of their mouth go, but they might not, work out for the first 5 weeks, but then they're going to work out. So then no one drops anybody, and everybody's holding on to everybody.
But
so everybody, that's the
I know
problem.
my mom said that to me. She told me that specifically. But that has been the case, and I think the trend the last couple of years in the NFL, where you see that, right? You see these teams not using these guys in the first 6 weeks of the season, and then all of a sudden, the last 8 weeks of the season, these guys are league winners. You saw the Jahmyr Gibbs path. You've seen, even David Montgomery's rookie year, DeAndre Swift's rookie year. I mean, we can go back to the last 4 or 5
running
years.
backs, Joe. If you are not good enough to protect the quarterback in pass blocking, you are not allowed on the field. That just happens a lot of the time. I feel like We're getting some of that with DJ Giddens in Indianapolis right now, where it was he was
Jonathan
the guy.
Taylor's also been pretty
Well,
dumb.
Jonathan, what I'm saying is
No, you're right,
Amir
though, you're
Abdullah has moved past Giddens, and so your handcuff might be Amir Abdullah instead of Giddens. Should something happen to JT, we just don't know because they're splitting those guys right now. That's what Travion Henderson is not seeing the field very much.
Yeah.
He
is
is
that
a
why
good
for
pass
Travion?
blocker. No,
that was
no.
gonna say, that was all
No,
anyone
it's
talked
because
about
the
is how great
coaching
of a pass
staff is
blocker he
being ridiculous. That's
Thank
why.
you. Because all I heard all offseason was, and the thing we like most about Travion Henderson is the pass blocking. And you know what?
Yeah.
I'd like to see him out there doing some of it. I'd like to just see him out on the field more. This week, the
let's
bye
give the
week
ball to
teams.
Ramondre.
Ramondre Stevenson 5,000 times. All right. Cardinals, Lions, Jags, Raiders, Rams, and Seahawks are all on bye. So we're missing some significant players in fantasy.
That
here.
is actually Joe. Did you get to see the new meme we created? Have we done a show since that? The bro.
No,
meme?
I don't think he's seen
All right.
it yet.
So Seth.
Oh, is this the one with your
throwing-
face? The way your
Yeah,
face
yeah.
is
Can
like-
we put that up
Yeah,
real
I've
quick?
seen
I want to
it.
get your reaction. That is the face. That is the face of week 6 bye weeks, which I still don't know what was wrong with me here. But that is the face
was
where
speaking.
you are setting your rosters in. I'm sorry, not week 6. What is this going to be?
Week
Week 8. Week 8
Yeah.
bye weeks. That's the face right there, bruh.
Yeah, well, I just don't understand, and Jake and I talked about this in the
My
first
face?
show today.
Oh.
No, wow, we talked about that too slightly, so everyone go watch that show on YouTube. But we also talked about why can't the NFL just do 4 teams a week for a certain amount of weeks? Like, because the math
Seems pretty easy.
seems pretty easy.
Why can't
on
they
that.
do Thursday Night Football only after bye weeks, Joe?
I don't know, Bogman. I just don't know. All right. We want everybody to drop their fact or fiction questions, too, for fact or fiction. So right now, if you're watching the show, give us your fact or fiction questions. We will answer them. Stay with us here on the program. Let's get another question up here, too. That's a fact or fiction. I want to keep that one. That's a good one right here. Let's see. Let's spin the wheel, shall we? Here's a trade. Studs as a trade. Would you trade Nico and Scadaboo for CMC? Boggs, would you do that deal?
Man, I don't think I can. Do you know how many
Which
touches?
side? Which side
I
do you
don't think
want?
I can trade for CMC. I mean, he's so amazing. But do you know how many
fear.
touches he has, Joe?
7,082.
I mean,
The
realistically,
The most.
No, I know. He leads
by,
the league
by how
like,
many, Welsh?
I
He
think
leads
it's
the
by
league
like 40,
doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's 31.
Yeah.
31. Okay.
It's 185 touches this year.
It's scary.
Jonathan Taylor is second behind him with 154. So I honestly don't think that Welsh's meme is a meme. I think it was a warning. I think he was sent here to destroy us all, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And I'm actually kind of creeped out by him. I think he's a witch. So
He might be.
but I just don't think he can realistically make it through this year with this amount of touches. But maybe everyone should just go to wherever he was last year and take whatever it was he took to fix his
Yeah,
Achilles,
that's a good idea.
because
Let's get a road
he
trip.
looks amazing.
Can we get FP to sponsor that road trip for us? I think that'd be
Oh,
fun.
and we could do a movie. Like, remember, like old road
Yeah.
trip movie. Like they
It'll
don't
be
do
like
any of
Euro
those
trip.
anymore.
It'll be like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Be
or
awesome.
road trip. The actual road trip movie.
We all come back. Never
Was it
mind.
Scotty doesn't know? Is that what? What's it?
Euro trip.
Careful, Boggs.
Euro
Careful,
trip.
Boggs.
Yep.
That's also Fred Armisen in the train, right? Scoozy.
No,
Miss
Scoozy,
Scoozy.
Scoozy.
Like
Gonna
they
be
go to
some
the tunnel
hot
and he's got no
stuff,
pants on.
baby, this evening. Great movie. Euro trip.
Wait,
is
road
amazing.
trip or Euro trip? Which
Euro
would
trip.
you pick?
I
Euro
would, I
trip.
would pick Euro trip.
I think Euro trip is elite. It is super
Matt
elite.
Damon singing "Scotty
Matt
Doesn't
Damon
Know"
is
is
Scotty
amazing.
doesn't know is the whole thing. That's
And
like-
that happens
I
in the
think
first
that
like 5
moment-
minutes.
Yeah. Drop Justin
great
Fields
movie.
for Sam Darnold or Flacco. I want Flacco against the Jets this week, and Darnold's off next week, so no
Yeah.
Darnold.
Important thing is Fields is very droppable for streaming quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He's not
Yes.
someone you need to hold on to anymore.
And I will
He sucks.
take the big fat L. I defended Justin Fields on the show last week, and we are accountability buddies here on the program, so we're not right about everything. We are right about a lot of things, and I can tell you because I won a lot of money this week on the Betting Pro show. Boggs will tell you that too, including the last-minute bet that I even logged of the Cardinals covering after I heard that the Green Bay Packers were going to be on a tarmac for 6.5 hours waiting. I was like, oh, you know what? And I'm dumb because I should have bet the Cardinals to win the first half of that game too, instead of just the money line as well. But it's all right. Sometimes you just get so
Be
excited about
terrible if
something.
the Packers plane didn't work this week. I'd be
Yeah,
really
we
upset
should
about
be
it.
all. Yeah, sure would be a problem if that Packer plane wasn't working there. But Justin Fields, I tried to defend him last week. I thought he would bounce back. It was awful. But you know what? Even more awful was the decision to take him out of that game because it proves nothing. It does nothing except that Aaron Glenn has lost control of everything, and he is terrified about his job now because it's not like putting Tyrod Taylor in that game was going to get any better. It didn't. It didn't get any better. It was still miserable. I mean, he was slightly less miserable than Justin Fields, but not by much. And look, no Garrett Wilson in that game. They don't have a lot of weapons. Like, what do you want him to do? at a certain point. Like, what do you expect of this offense? I don't know. Whatever. Field stinks. Drop them.
Yeah, it's just
Drop
not
them.
good.
Drop
Play
them.
calling stinks. Can't win with them.
Can't win with them. All right, so drop your fact and fictions, everybody. We're going to get to them in about 5 minutes here, so we want to load them all up here, drop them all here on our Twitch. Again, subscribe to the Twitch here. Let's do some takeaways here. Here's my first takeaway for the week, and I waited this week. I let you guys put your takeaways and moments in because everyone complains that I'm first in the sheet because I make the sheet, so I didn't do it this week. So you complain. You're like, oh, you already got there, so I didn't get to do it.
No. I complain when you do what we wrote down in the show, and then you come back to the segment. You're like, all right, what's your takeaway?
The people want that, though. I can't help it if you're the voice of the people and you just know what the people want.
This is true. This is absolutely true.
All right, so my takeaway from week 7 was the Colts are not just AFC South good. They're good. They're actually good. And I won money on them this week, too. And on the Betting Pro shows, Boggs will tell you, I flat out told everybody that line is wrong. It is wrong. They should not be underdogs in this game. They should be favored. And they went out there and they whooped on the Chargers. And the Chargers have issues, offensive line issues. I know they just got Khalil Mack back, all that stuff. They've been missing guys in their running back room. But I'm telling you right now, the Colts are super dangerous. Jonathan Taylor has been arguably, fantasy MVP. Welsh, what did we talk about on Friday? My bonus bet was Jonathan Taylor, right? 2 touchdowns at 3-1. Well, he got 3. So I wish I would have bet that instead. That would have been even better. But the Colts are that good, and I think everybody needs to watch out because I still don't think they're on everybody's radar, and they're going to get in the playoffs, and they're going to beat a team that they quote-unquote shouldn't beat, and it's going to be really interesting to watch.
Boggs, do you know anybody that thought the Colts are going to make the playoffs in the preseason?
Welsh picked them to win the division over Houston.
No big deal. No big deal.
Well, there you go. So who is your what's your takeaway for this week in the NFL?
The Panthers are who we thought they were, at least in the running back situation. It's going to be as annoying as possible because I think this entire week was like people taking sides. I know it was Debro going full Rico. You got people saying track the money with Chuba. And
I went full Rico too.
I
just
kind
think
of
you
kept
get off of it.
I don't think they should, by the way. I kept sitting here going, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be a split. It's going to be annoying, and it's going to take away. And that is exactly what happened. These guys, it was 17 rush attempts, which, by the way, 17 is like, that's doable here. But 14 rush attempts for Chuba. I don't think, this team is going to be able to stomach that many carries. But you know what? If Andy Dalton has taken over the offense, they're a little bit more efficient. They want to slow the ball down. There is a legit possibility that they might be able to push 15-plus carries each. But the main takeaway here, because I know there's a lot of Rico questions out there of what do you do, I think for the super negative Nancy's, he got more run than you expected. But the guys that wanted to be, this is Rico's team now, you're wrong. It is a split backfield that's going to be super, super annoying. These guys, they split series. By the way, I had a first touchdown on Rico. I did a little stupid parlay. I hit the Rashee Rice first touchdown, and then I had Rico, and they were driving down. They couldn't do anything, and then the next series when there wasn't a touchdown, Chuba was in. So they were just splitting series in here. So unfortunately, it's the worst case scenario. They look like a better version of the Seahawks, these two backs here, but they are in a full split mode. So instead of one being a close to RB1 or high in RB2, they're both going to be at best low RB2s to high RB3s, and that kind of is a bummer. Now, things could change, but that is the first week that we've had them both together after Rico went ballistic. But again, I do believe this should be Rico. He looks better. He's more efficient. He averaged over almost 4.5 yards per carry while Chuba was around 2. So this change should happen. It just doesn't look like it is going to be anytime soon.
There's some really good fact or fiction questions. I can't wait to get to this. So keep dropping them, everybody. And there's one really provocative one I'm going to start with. So keep going. Keep dropping the fact or fictions. We're going to play that in a second. Boggs, what was your big takeaway from week 7? I know it's still going. I've got 2 games tonight, but we all know I'm not staying awake for that second one.
The Patriots are giving
Joe.
the backfield to Ramondre Stevenson, and I hate the Patriots. That is my takeaway for this week. And listen, I'm just gonna go down like the Titanic with the ship here. I'm holding Henderson in my leagues.
For you.
I'm not suggesting people do it. I think you should cut him. I think if Monangai is available, if Rashard Smith is available, you should go take those guys. I am being stubborn and dumb. with my rosters.
You know the term
rostering
like holding
Henderson
the
right
bag?
now.
Like that's
Yeah.
the Henderson thing right now. Like everybody's doing what I said earlier.
But, you know,
where
it just
everyone's
takes
being
one
like, oh, they're
injury.
going to be great later.
Boggs,
That's
it takes
it.
one injury or another
Yeah.
fumble in a big spot that loses the game. Like there are outs for him.
But what's the difference between Brian Robinson and Trayvon Henderson right now?
There's not a lot.
You're holding
here's the
them for the
draft
other guy to get
hold
hurt.
on.
Draft
Here's the
capital.
difference.
Yeah.
The difference is that Trey Henderson is way better than Ramondre Stevenson is.
Yes.
Like,
And-
I don't think that's
right.
very arguable. It is right now just in production, right? But I think as skill positions, Brian Robinson, no one is really in Christian McCaffrey's neighborhood. I think
No.
Henderson, if given the opportunity, is better than Stevenson. He's just not given the opportunity right now. So, I think a fumble more than an injury could get Henderson on the field. So,
right.
because
How many more?
Stevenson has.
We've had 7 of those.
One more, 2 more. I mean,
6?
Just wait around for it. It's gonna
I
happen.
told you, it's basketball. I swear to God, you guys rip on me like 20 or 30 more times, and I'm out of here. I'm just not.
Yeah.
It's 20 or 30 more times. So we got a basketball reference and a Euro trip reference here in the same show. Very
And
nice.
I've had to shut my mouth twice today.
That's right, but you've been very good about it. But I'm the
trying.
one that gets in trouble. I'm the bad seed. This
That's
is fine.
true.
I'm the bad boy of fantasy pros. Boggs, what's your moment of the week too? While the bad boy sits here and hangs out.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's kind of starting to freak me out that Christian McCaffrey is still carrying the ball so many times. Like, I honestly
Fair
think
enough.
whatever his treatment was, we need to get it over here for every single NFL player because, you know, they said bilateral Achilles tendonitis, and he looked slow last year. He did not look like the regular Christian McCaffrey that we're used to seeing. And this year, he looks possessed. He ran. He turned his back and pushed his, injured Achilles heels into the ground and ran through 2 400-pound defensive linemen last night. He might be Clark Kent. Like, he just looks absurd to me right now, and it's starting to kind of creep me out. I think Welsh is warning us. He's an actual real witch. It's not even a joke anymore, and he has
It's an
superpowers.
orthobiologic. So that's what he had.
Is that
It
your
involves
fetish?
injecting the patient's own platelets into the injured area to promote healing. McCaffrey traveled to Germany because such orthobiological treatments are not yet approved by the FDA.
Stem cells.
Not approved by the FDA. So
Get
what,
it done. I mean, why? This is the Peter
I'm gonna
Griffin.
go. I'm
Why
going
aren't we
after the
funding
show's-
this?
As soon as the show's over, I'm going there. Welsh, what was your moment of the week?
He's the Scarlet and Gold Witch. My moment has to be the play calling of Andy Reid. You got to just hat tip to him and the innovativeness of the offense to just push boundaries.
Screaming
and
obscenities.
Are
by
you
the
talking
way,
about that one
the
where
broadcast.
the
well, I'm going to
can't
tell
do
you about it.
this?
It
Okay.
is It's a 4th down. Mahomes behind the center. They get
Yeah,
up with
this
about
one, yeah.
10 seconds left, and I'm not going to say
Yeah.
the exact words because it went over the broadcast.
I'd like you to say
But
it.
he's
I
like,
think it'd be fun.
this never works. And he puts his hands up. Everyone goes, and then he comes down. Bam, they run the play. And they faked the fake. There was the stupid, like, we're going to get you guys to
And it
jump
worked.
off sides thing. And he comes, his hands are up, and he's like, this never works. Blah, blah, blah. And then they run the play, and they get the first down. I love
Creativity's
that they
amazing by
continuously
Andy
do
Reid.
that stuff. Best
It is
moment.
awesome. And I'll be honest with you, it feels a little bit more like Andy Reid got more involved this year. I'm going to stake my my life on that one.
Someone say steak.
Well,
Mistake.
because I
Deuce
don't think
Bigelow, another
that
good
Matt
movie.
Nagy is smart enough to create these kind of things. Just putting that out there. So
What was the steak? What was the steak? That was a
Deuce
comedy
Bigelow.
bit, right? Yeah, it was Deuce Bigelow. Yeah. Someone say steak.
that's 3.
That's
All
that
right.
mistake.
My big moment was actually, it came in the loss now, but it was the Theo Johnson touchdown catch that was just off of Wan'Dale Robinson, goes up in the air, and Theo Johnson's crossing across the field, catches it, and runs for a touchdown. It was wild. It felt like, oh my
They
God,
lost
the
that
Giants.
game too. Doesn't that feel like a
It's
play
just
that
like,
just
yeah.
happens to a team?
Like, no matter
that has
what, if
to
you're a
win that
Giants
game?
fan, Boggs, you're looking at a Giants fan. It's like, well, do I still feel better than I did 3 weeks ago watching Russell Wilson play quarterback? And the answer's got to be, yeah, I feel great. It's just very frustrating to watch
course.
that. But that moment, it was
Nobody
fun.
thought they were going to put up 32 points or
Boggs,
whatever
we had-
on the Broncos, right?
We had family over from Florida. I set up the TV outside with Red Zone. We had the games on outside. Leaves were falling, watching football, and it got dark for that part of the game, and it was great. We were watching this thing, and I was watching it with, of course, a couple of Giants fans because I live in New Jersey, and they were loving life, and then besides himself not too long after that. So it was a lot of emotions in the last half hour of that game. All right, let's play a little fact or fiction, and we're going to kick things off with a doozy here. This is from Crystal Seasons here. Fact or fiction, Saquon Barkley is still a reliable RB1 the rest of season. Without looking, where is Saquon Barkley ranked in terms of rushing this year? What number? Saquon. Saquon.
24.
Jeanty. I'm going to say 17.
You think 17?
It's probably
24.
lower. Yeah.
He is ranked rushing 22nd. So you're right in the middle between you guys. 369 rushing yards.
Nice.
He ranks 22nd. He's behind Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, but ahead of Kenneth Walker. That's where he is right now currently.
Fiction. So. He is an RB2 that has the potential to be the RB1 at any point this season.
So fiction, he's not a reliable RB1 anymore. Okay.
Say fact. I think he still is. You know what's going to happen? Just letting you guys all know. Now that the Eagles learned how to pass the ball, they are going to create some separation. It's the same idea of like run the ball early so you can set up play action, that they're actually showing teams that they can get the ball deep in the air. A.J. Brown can still beat them. Yeah, they're going to set up the run a little bit better. Like Saquon is going to, he's still got a couple monster games in. Now, is he reliable like top 2 running back in the league? Maybe not. This offense is still weird, but he's massively talented. They still got the offensive line. Like, could he be RB 10 or 11 by the end of the year? Absolutely. And now that they're passing the ball, I think it opens up. So I'm going to say that is a fact.
Want to guess Ramondre Stevenson's yards per carry this year?
Well, I mean, Seth was crashing out in the chat.
Oh,
with like
no,
7,000. Yeah, 7,000
Yeah.
Travion Henderson versus Ramondre Stevenson stats in here. It's not good.
It's 3.6. That's what it is. 3.
We're like talking about other subjects, and Seth is just like, we obviously
Seth
hit
is still
close
on.
to
Obviously,
home.
he has obviously Seth has a couple of Travion Henderson shares of his own.
Someone's got a couple. He's just like doing stat after stat.
Scott Bogman riding this one out to the darkness. Let's go to Lee's question. Fact or fiction, Travis Hunter is more reliable coming out of the bye than BTJ. He had his first touchdown, Boggs, in a game where they got the crap beat out of them by the Los Angeles Rams. And now BTJ is hurt. And we don't have Travis Hunter next week. And he was exclusively wide receiver in this game. So do you think Travis Hunter is the guy over BTJ rest of season in that offense?
I mean, I could easily see it. I would say that both these guys are kind of going to be, I think this is going to be just like we were talking about the Carolina running back situation, the Seattle running back situation, where it's just going to be between them probably moving forward. But really, the offensive line has to get it fixed. What were they sacked 7 times against the Rams? I mean, Trevor Lawrence has got to get rid of the ball. This was out of necessity that Travis Hunter had.
Yeah, I'm saying fiction on this one personally.
I think fiction as well, but I do think this is going to be annoying, and I think Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. are eerily close in value right now.
I'm going to say I think this is closer to fact. They said, like, we get the coach speak stuff where they're like, we want to do this, and then we're like, okay, LOL. They said, like, we want to get Travis Hunter the ball more. It's exactly what they did. Travis Hunter had the 8th highest first read percentage of any wide receiver this week, almost 40% first read. I don't think that that's going to stop. He's been more reliable offensively than defensively. You're getting like, whatever version of coverages they're actually putting on the Jaguars that are going to kind of hone down on Brian Thomas, and they play Travis Hunter. They'll move him, put him out of the slot as well. So I think like Travis Hunter is becoming more reliable, and I think this was a first early sign of what he's going to be moving forward. Now, will he be better than Brian Thomas rest of season? I don't know. I think Travis Hunter being more of a piece is going to help Brian Thomas find some more open coverage. But I do think the first part, is he going to be more reliable? Yes. I think Travis Hunter can be wide receiver 3, maybe wide receiver 2 for the rest of the season. I think they're going to just double down on that after the bye.
If they keep Travis Hunter as just a wide receiver, he's better than Brian Thomas Jr. That's just, to me.
But you really think the defensive stuff is taking away from him, or you mean because he's not getting the snap shares?
Yes. I think it's not just the defensive plays on the field. It's the practice, it's the meetings, it's all of that stuff. I think it's taking away from his development on the offensive side. And your rookie season, you take one of your bigger leaps in your career. Really, it's from that rookie to that second season. But I think you're missing a lot of instruction by going through defensive meetings and all of that stuff as well. So it's not
would you
just
have said, though, going
the
into the draft that he would have been the let's say that you were drafting him just as a wide receiver. If they had to do it again, do you think they still would have taken Travis Hunter, or they should have taken Emeka Egbuka?
I mean, the guy won the Heisman. He's an incredible athlete.
Okay.
And I think I'd rather still have Travis Hunter, but it doesn't mean it's going to work out perfectly. Mecca Egbuka looks amazing. Tet looks amazing. These are really, really good wide receivers. I just think if you put Travis Hunter on one side of the ball, you'll see more of his skill pop out. It's just he's so good. They're using him on both sides.
I'm concerned about Tet, though, especially, not that Dalton is...
Andy will get the ball to him, though.
I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like until they get a real quarterback there, it's going to be very frustrating. These are some quick ones. This Fact or Fiction is Justin Field, droppable fact. He is.
Fact.
That's absolutely a fact. Here's one from Stink. Fact or Fiction is Born done.
Is Joe
Is
done?
Joe done?
Is Joe done? Fact or fiction? Joe froze. Fact. Born.
I did?
Yeah, you had a big old freeze. Yeah.
Fact. Okay.
It's probably fact because like Pearsall's
Sky
gonna come
Moore
back
had more
soon.
yards than him yesterday.
Yeah, but that was like.
And when Brock Purdy comes back,
McCaffrey
it's like
game.
a big fat no. Here's the one. Don Vito. Fact or fiction? Panthers should trade Chuba and make Rico a bell cow. Fact, they should, but they're fiction because it's not going to happen because no one's taking that contract to Chuba Hubbard. Would you all agree?
100%. Yeah, he should,
All
but
right.
they're not going to.
Here's one from Dread. Panthers might be a contender for the playoffs. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Yeah, I don't
it's
think the
fiction, too.
defense is there yet.
Can Joey be Jerry Jones for Halloween? Maybe. I can't get this sons of bitches. Let me tell you something. And then what I did is I took Bogman and Welsh and I traded them to Minnesota and I got 4 first-round draft picks. And that's what I did. And I remade the whole show. I got myself Rich Eisen. I got a whole bunch of people here on the show now. And all I had to do was trade away Scott Bogman and Chris Welsh. That's all I had to do. Let's go. Fact or fiction? Ricky Pearsall is relevant rest of season. Ouch. Ow. Oh, this stings, this one. I don't like this one at all.
Yeah.
Why does
he's
it
going to
sting?
come back this week.
Because I understand why we're asking this, and it's getting to a point where it's like, oh, God, they're not wrong.
You have to
last
take the
couple
ball
weeks.
away from Christian McCaffrey, for God's sake.
For God's sake, someone take that ball away from that man.
But we're only asking because he got hurt. I'm not really sure what the ouch is. Like, yeah, when he's back, he'll be relevant.
Yeah, he's going to be
now
fine.
Kittle's back in the mix, too, and I just don't know. I got to be honest with you. I don't think this is such a slam dunk.
Ayuk?
I want to say yes because I've got all these Pearsall shares, but
Then say yes, dummy.
Yeah,
yes, it's true.
Yes.
Fact, he's relevant, but I understand
Yes.
Benson about being relevant on the other hand. Trey Benson,
I
I'm
don't
not
know
sold. I
about
think
that
that's fiction. What do you think?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, fiction.
All right, there's where we're going for this one. Okay, we got a lot of Fatherman's here. Fact or fiction? Baker on the road, underdog will hit. Doesn't it always? Look, I've got him to cover tonight, and Boggs knows there's one of those parlays. It's going to be a big one if it hits. If Baker finds the end zone, we'll see. We'll see. That's my vision. That was my vision last night. I had a vision.
You
I had
have
Jerry
a
Jones had a
rushing.
vision.
You have a rushing touchdown for
I
Baker.
I do. Well, it's in a parlay for fun, for S's and G's. I have all my big giant investments, but then I did a little side piece here just in case. And I don't know. I went to sleep and I woke up and I had a vision of Baker Mayfield in the end zone doing Baker Mayfield stuff. So
I'm never
we'll see
going to
what
get the
happens.
credit for the gentleman I'm being today, by the way.
You are not, but that's okay. Fact or fiction? Bears are a good bet to win the NFC North. That is fiction. They are not as good defensively as the Packers and not as good offensively as the Lions.
That is Lord of the Rings.
Misspelled
Sorry,
Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, spelling is not the strong suit around these parts.
Fire and wind or whatever.
Studs,
the book
fact
is.
or fiction? CMC is a top 3 RB if healthy in fantasy playoffs.
Yeah,
playoffs.
he's the number 1 running back if he's healthy.
Well,
And
yeah,
if he's
he's
healthy,
healthy.
that way, I mean, maybe. You know what? No, I'm still going to be a gentleman.
The only argument anybody has anymore, because we heard a few of them in the preseason, is if he gets hurt. You have nothing else behind you.
That's it.
It's
It's all
just
about getting
injury.
hurt.
He has more. It's 31 more touches than the next running back. He just rattled off 200 yards. He's one of the best backs in the league. The only thing you have that doesn't do that is an injury, is Achilles, tendon, whatever.
Also, this is one from Don Vito, fact or fiction. Brian Daboll just drafted the franchise QB for the next Giants coach.
Yes.
I say fact. That's a hard fact right there.
He's gone.
I don't think he's
Blow
gone
this
year.
game. I think he's gone after this year.
I think the players all love him. I think he's actually a guy that could stick around. But like in 3 years, he might be. If you screw this up next year, then yeah, probably.
All right, last of the fact or fictions. You can keep dropping your questions, shoot. We'll try to squeeze in a couple more of those at the end here. Run it for real, fact or fiction. DJ Moore is done. Drop him for Boutte or Franklin. I wouldn't drop him for Franklin. But Kayshon Boutte, look, I think that with Kayshon, as Drake May continues to evolve as a passer, that there's enough there for Kayshon Boutte in terms of upside and touchdown equity. So I would say for Boutte, yes, but I'm probably in the minority. Am I, Welsh?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you would
I always
still
think
keep
when I
DJ
hear
Moore?
Kayshawn, by the way, do you remember that singer Krayshawn? I always think
No.
of Krayshawn. Go look it up.
I think of Kayshawn. I think of the Butter South Park episode.
I still think
Kayshawn.
I still think Diggs is like the number one. It was just like, we haven't had that huge, big development out of it. But also, it's a kind of a rotational wide receiver core. Like, they still go to Demario Douglas. Like, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're still running out Ramondre when Travion is there. So I don't trust anything. Booty has these big games, and then he vanishes and he disappears. So I'm not doing this for more, but I'm not saying I wouldn't want to pick him up.
All right, let's take a look at the 3-1-1 board from last week and where we are right now, because things are moving and shaking right now. As you can see, I'm at 6, Boggs at 6, Welsh is at 3. So still coming back here a little bit, but Welsh, still plenty of time here in this contest. Last week, only Boggs got CMC and Welsh got Justin Herbert. I got nothing. Dak Prescott also missed by a yard on his over, pissed me off. Jonathan Taylor missed 100 yards by 6.
Benched in the third quarter, so I could.
Yeah, it's fine
as well.
That's fine. But a lot of good process. Jonathan Taylor had 94 rushing yards, right? I mean, real close there, but all right, whatever. So this week, I'm going with Joe Flacco against the New York Jets. The Jets have quit. This is over. It is done. It is a short week. I don't care who's playing quarterback. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. Joe Flacco, give me 300-yard passer Joe Flacco, along with 100-yard receiver Jamar Chase this week. And I'm going to go back to the well again. Jonathan Taylor against Tennessee Titans. Give me Jonathan Taylor. You just missed it last week, buddy. I'm going to give you a second chance before we go sideways there. Boggs, since we're tied now, I see you are also running it back with Patrick Mahomes this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes against Washington. Hopefully he won't be benched in the third quarter because they're up so many points. We're going to go with Bijan Robinson versus the Miami Dolphins, talking about teams that have quit. I think the Dolphins might be there as well. And then Justin Jefferson against the Chargers for my 100-yard receiver, because whoever is the quarterback should just throw the ball to him 23 times, as Joe Flacco showed us against the Steelers and Jamar Chase. Just throw to your best player a million times. It'll work out. I think that's what you should do with Jefferson as well.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair. Welsh, all right, let's clean sweep this week, Welsh. 3 for 3 for you. What do you have?
All right, I am going to go with Justin Herbert, who just dropped 400, so I'm going to run that back against the Minnesota Vikings. Defense a little questionable. I can't help myself. You guys literally picked the two. By the way, I had Quinshon Judkins this past week. The 3 touchdowns hurt my soul because he couldn't get to 100 yards. But I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor with you. It has to be Bijan is like the call of calls.
It has to be, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor because what I also like is the other end. Drake London didn't have one of those big, crazy games. The 49ers kind of shut that down a little bit. It went to a lot of Kyle Pitts. I think there's going to be a pivot this week, and it's going to get back to Drake London. Heavy usage against this stink old Dolphins team. So I'm going to go Drake London, Jonathan Taylor, and Justin Herbert. Guaranteed they're all not going to hit it because I am the worst at this game this year. I will say this. I think Tyler Algier could probably get the 100 yards at this point. Forget Bijan. I mean, just give everybody the football. The Dolphins are in a bad way. But we did get news that Tua is going to start next week. So that just came across the news bar there. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson's imminent return this week. Is he QB1 rest of season? Fact or fiction here? Boggs, do you think he can get back to the number 1 fantasy QB spot?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, as long as he's fully healthy, he's Lamar. He's still going to run and pass and still going to be, a top 3 QB. It's him and Allen and Daniels is hurt now too. So it's really between him and Allen if they're both healthy. So, yeah, he can easily get there.
There's a lot of people talking about this Andy Dalton, Tedero McMillan stuff. Everybody, pump the brakes a little bit. Here's another one, he's going to be his A.J. Green. What year is it? This is not 2015, okay?
Yeah, but I saw Joe Flacco do it with Jamar Chase.
All everybody could do with the Joe Flacco stuff is be like, well, listen, he had a bad offensive line and this, that, and the other thing.
Andy Dalton couldn't win a playoff game. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl. Let's not compare these two
Joe
guys.
Flacco is as old as you, too. So he's getting it completely
just like
done.
Joe Flacco does, especially in the Mike Vrabel vest today.
I agree with this.
All of us.
You know what Dalton's not going to do? Dalton's not going to be running around he is just going to pick his guy. He's going to do one check down, and that's it. He's going to just make it super simplistic. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I kind of agree. This is an upgrade for Tedoroa.
By the way,
and I
Joe
am
Flacco
older than
is
Joe
3
Flacco.
years younger than you and me, Welsh. So
yeah,
Jesus,
well, what does that say about you
know.
guys? There you go.
Yeah.
Also, Kendre Miller out for the year now with a torn ACL, so any shares of him are now gone. Does this change any dynamic now for the Saints, in that backfield?
Yeah, they shouldn't trade Kamara.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, they have just nothing behind him. It's Devin Neal.
Wait, are you saying they should or shouldn't?
They
Well, I'm
shouldn't.
just. They
Yeah, well, he's
should
not. He
trade
already said
Kamara.
he's
I know
going
he
to
doesn't
go. He's
wanna
going to
go.
retire if they trade him. So he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, well,
they don't have
that's
anybody else.
unfortunate. So, do we all believe Tyrod Taylor is going to be the quarterback for the Jets this week on Thursday Night
I
Football?
think so. You're 0-7. You're like scrambling for your job right now. Go to the vet.
Yeah,
also,
I'm with that.
Darren Waller is week to week and isn't expected to require surgery. So that was a fun couple
way.
weeks of Darren Waller, right? Like, this is what I tried to tell everybody. I was like, look, you could, start him for a couple weeks, but you have to know it's not
Gonna get a bunch of auto-tune songs about it in the next couple weeks.
Oh,
So
God, we
that's
can
good.
only hope. Also, does Breece Hall get traded between now and next week? Because trade deadline's looming.
I was very against all that. Like, you probably need to blow this stuff up. Like, he's talking about how he's been here for years and it stinks. Like, he's just openly, he doesn't care. They probably should. But the problem is the market for all these backs. They did some, interview GMs and stuff, and everyone's like, the fifth round pick. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, maybe I just have
the Jets. He's going to walk anyway. Take the fifth round pick.
Yeah, I guess that's
true.
true. I guess that's true.
You take all the picks you can get, and you're going to have the number one pick. So eventually, if you want to trade back into the first round, you're just acquiring more picks in order to move back in or move up again somewhere else. Like that's what great organizations do. They acquire picks and then move that draft capital, continue to move up and make those.
I would love to
moves.
see when Braylon comes back. I'd like to see what him and Davis do, and I'd really like to just see what Davis does. Honestly, he's one of my favorite backs out of that class. I thought he was better than Braylon Allen, so I like to see what he
between
what he
Davis
has.
and Spears. Like you should be thinking about the future here a little bit and hedging for the next 2
Where
weeks.
the hell would he go, by the way? Like, I'm looking. What would be a good bet? What about the Chargers? Get a team like the Chargers who got
the
Vidal.
Chargers
I'm looking,
were the ones
who
that were
else?
talking in the tri-state area. That was the first rumor 2 weeks ago. When they said
Kansas
trading
City.
Breece Hall. Well, that would certainly be interesting too.
KC,
Especially Kareem Hunt's got an
Houston.
injury too. So lots to look forward to, lots to look ahead. Make sure you join us on our Twitch again, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's the place to be every Monday morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. 2 p.m. Eastern time. That's where we are live here. And, of course, subscribe to the Twitch. You can win the Ashton Jeanty jersey. That is going to be given away. And if you are a subscriber of Twitch, you have a 1.5 times odds boost. So go join the Twitch, subscribe. And, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well at Fantasy Pros. That'll do it for us. Can we see the bro picture one more time? I feel like I need the bruh. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on, bruh. We'll see you next time, bruh. Don't come at me, bruh. Have a good week 8, everybody.
What a picture.
That is... What was the conversation about?
They used that picture in a social tweet. That's why this whole thing came up. They put that picture on a social tweet.
For what?
For people to not watch.
Like, what is that?
For the show.